Hey, thanks for joining Kate and I for a chat. Kate McCallum is a finance expert. She is a boss lady and the author of The Joy of Money. Now, she's here to talk about some of the myths that have come about when it comes to women and money, such as we spend more than men.
Which is a complete myth. It is a complete myth that women are big spenders, because guess what? The men spend just as much as we do.
I have to agree.
Just on different things. Yeah. They spend it on cars and electronics and camping and motorbike
and it just
equipment.
Pops up, doesn't it? You just see this new helmet or whatever it is that that your husband has purchased or your partner has purchased. So talk to us about some of these myths and can we debunk some of these myths?
Well, that's what we're hoping to do today. The other myth is that women are not good at investing.
Yeah.
And again, it's just simply not true. The research doesn't bear it out. There was a brilliant research paper that's been done and it's called Boys Will Be Boys. Right. And what they found was that men tended to trade investments, whereas women tend to buy and hold. And of course, if you buy and hold, you're more likely to be a successful investor.
Right.
So the girls, in fact, beat the boys when it comes to investment returns.
What are some of the other myths that we're talking about here, Kate?
There's a myth that women are not interested in money. And The Joy of Money was very much trying to address this, because it's not that we're not interested, it's just we need a different approach.
Right.
So the language of money and investing has been very masculine.
Okay.
And our objective with The Joy of Money was to provide an on-ramp where we provided a different way for women to engage with money.
Right. And how should we be engaging with our money?
In the same way that men do, which is getting in and investing.
Right.
And I think, this is another myth, is that women are more conservative investors.
Okay.
What the research actually shows is people who have less money tend to be more conservative. And of course, women tend to have less money, particularly in superannuation, than men do. So it's not surprising that there's an assumption that we're more risk averse. But what we find is that women actually take longer to make investment decisions.
Which is a good thing.
Which is a good thing, because investing is complex. And in fact, the Boys Will Be Boys study found that men in general were overconfident.
Right. And that's where the losses happen, right?
Exactly. So women take more time but are more considered investors. But then what we find is, with the same objectives, women tend to have the same risk profile. So they're likely to invest in the same sorts of investments as men once they've got comfortable with the decision.
So young women apparently are more likely to be engaged with women. Is that truth, or is that false? Is that a myth?
It's another one. So you would think that young women, particularly these days, would be likely to be more engaged with their money. But what the research actually finds is around about 60% of younger women abdicate big financial decisions to their spouse.
Right.
Whereas when you look at women who are 50 plus, the numbers are actually less. If you think about it, it kind of makes sense. As as a mum, you know what it's like. You're running around after kids and toddlers, and that's what the women in these studies report, is that they simply don't have the headspace to deal with it.
Yeah, we're not being intentional about our money.
No, but it's not a good reason not to be, and we do need to be intentional about our money, because we do need to look after ourselves over the long run.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kate. Look, if you want more finance tips from Kate, hit us up on the website, mumsatthetable.com, and don't forget to keep it locked right here.